raw, honest review that kind of bothers me. I don't like the coloring on it. I am so insanely happy with. I wish they made like a fisheye lens. This is honestly really prone to falling over. So discreet, not as obvious that you're vlogging. It's definitely a conversation starter. There's just so many cool little features. I honestly really do love it, and I use it in all of my vlogs now. Hello you guys, and welcome to today's video. Let's just get right into what you clicked on this video for. We are going to be talking about the DJI OSMO Pocket 3 vlog camera today. So I feel like this vlog camera is picking up a lot of popularity and attraction. One, because of how good of a vlog camera it is in general, but two, also for its small compact size and for its more unique and discreet shape of the camera itself. So I got this camera back in March and I've been using it for the past 2 months now, and I wanted to give you guys a raw, honest review about how I truly feel about this viral vlog camera. And I did buy this camera with my own money, so I don't have any like biased reviews or anything. You guys are gonna be getting the real deal. And you guys know I'm serious about this because I pulled out my laptop. I have some notes of every single point that I want to touch on in this honest review. So you guys are gonna be getting all of my honest thoughts on this camera, and I'm not gonna miss a single point. First thing I want to mention is I did do an initial unboxing on this camera on my channel. I will link it down below for you guys in case you want to see what comes with the camera. I did get the creator pack, which costs a little bit more than the camera itself because it comes with all these accessories. You can check that out in my previous video if you want to see what the creator pack comes with. I'll also kind of touch on it in this video later on as well. And then that video also just kind of gets my initial reaction of how I liked the camera. Okay, with that aside, I feel like I'm going to start on one of the biggest points of this camera that kind of bothers me. We're going in hot right now. For some reason, this camera, I don't like the coloring on it. I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can for you guys. But basically, I feel like the coloring and the lighting on the camera is not the best. Sometimes I feel like I look so washed out, or just skin tones look so washed out and gray to me. They don't look very lively. So this usually happens when I'm filming and it's cloudy and gloomy and gray outside, or when I'm in my car and my car has a fully gray interior in it. So I'm assuming that when it's gray and gloomy out, or you just have like a grayer background, it makes sense that you're gonna look a little washed out and gray. But my original vlog camera that I use, which is my primary vlog camera, the Canon G7X, I have never had an issue with the lighting. I feel like the G7X is known for good coloring and good lighting just all around. So maybe I'm just way too used to the beautiful colors and prettiness of the Canon G7X. But I'll also try to put like some comparison clips of like what I filmed on a G7X and how it looks with the lighting and the coloring versus what I filmed on the OSMO Pocket 3 and how the lighting and coloring looks on that. So sometimes I will find myself vlogging with the OSMO Pocket 3 and I'll honestly just be hating how the colors are turning out or how the footage is turning out, and it kind of discourages me from vlogging in that moment. I still will, because sometimes this is the only camera that I bring around, and I wonder if anyone else notices it or if it's just me that notices it because I'm so used to my G7X. But honestly, please comment down below if this is something that you notice in my vlogs, or maybe you wouldn't have noticed if I didn't bring it up, because it really is something that bothers me when I'm filming and editing my videos. I know the OSMO Pocket 3 offers the ability to shoot in like D-Log or something. I don't know much about camera terminology, but I know there's a setting where you film it in D-Log, I believe, and you can like go and like color correct and like do custom coloring. I don't do all that. I edit my vlogs on iMovie, so I kind of need like good lighting, good coloring out of the box. And I will say the OSMO Pocket 3, it does, when there's good lighting, like when it's a beautiful sunny day out, it looks amazing. But it's just hard when it's like gloomy outside and the lighting isn't the best. So I feel like that is one thing that has really irked me about this camera, but I've been able to live with it. It's been fine. I just wish it was different, essentially. I will also say sometimes the colors are too saturated. For example, greens look a little too green. The blue sky looks a little too blue for me. I don't know. Let me know if you also notice this, but to me, because it looks a little too saturated, it kind of makes me feel like the vlog is like fake. And then also kind of on the note of how the DJI camera like captures videos and pictures, I feel like I kind of look a little weird. It just like softens your skin, and which like might be a good thing and might be what you want, but to me it just kind of also makes it look fake in a way. I honestly don't know how to describe it. I hope the video clips that I'm putting on the screen kind of like help you decipher what I'm trying to say, but I don't know, for some reason just like it's softening your skin and like kind of like smoothing things out, where I feel like on the G7X it's very like crispy, there's a lot of contrast. Oh wait, I think I just had a realization. I feel like the camera on the Osmo Pocket 3, it doesn't have a ton of contrast, whereas the G7X, I feel like it has more contrast, and I honestly feel like the G7X just makes you look pretty. Like, I don't know what kind of settings they put on this camera, but I've never like hated how I looked on the G7X. Sometimes on the Osmo Pocket 3, I look at myself and I'm like, whoa, do I really look like that? And that might just be me being so used to the G7X and like the G7X making me feel really pretty, whereas maybe the Osmo Pocket 3, it shows things a little more raw and real, if you know what I mean. So that's just like something to keep in mind, and that was honestly like the biggest thing I wanted to talk about with this camera. And I believe all of my vlogs that I've posted for the past 2 months have had some sort of footage with the Osmo Pocket 3 in it. So if you want to look through my vlogs to see kind of like the clips and camera in action, you can go check that out. One of my most recent vlogs when I went to LA, that was completely filmed on this camera. So if you kind of want to see how a full vlog just with this camera looks, I would highly recommend just watching and like skimming through that one. Okay, that is it for my rant on like how the actual video turns out on the Osmo Pocket 3 with the lighting and the coloring. Now I want to go into the accessories that it came with. The first accessory that I want to talk about that I am so insanely happy with is the magnetic wide angle lens that comes with the camera. It literally just clips on because it's magnetic like this, like just like that, and it makes you have a wider angle on the Osmo Pocket 3. I will say, without the magnetic wide angle lens, the Osmo Pocket 3 is pretty wide angle. So adding the wide angle lens just gives it even more of a field of view of what's in your background when you're filming a video. So this is like a regular wide angle lens. I wish they made like a fisheye lens where you could just like pop it off and pop it back on. I really, really love how fisheye lenses look in videos. I'm sure they'll come out with one day, or someone will make one for it, but I've done some research online recently and I haven't found one. If you know one, let me know down below, because I will definitely be buying that. This one kind of gives sometimes like a fisheye effect in certain angles and certain lighting, but for the most part it's just like a typical wide angle lens. So what's really nice about the wide angle lens, because it's magnetic, it actually can stick in the protective case. So it just sticks in the case like that, and then when I want to put my camera in here, my camera just goes directly in like that, and it's all together. It's really easy because you can like travel with them together. You don't have to like take out the wide angle lens like in a separate case or compartment or anything. What also kind of irks me about this camera is when you have the wide angle lens on and you turn off the camera, the lens of the camera cannot be protected, obviously, because the wide angle lens is just like preventing it from going in all the way just because it's like too thick. I wish they accounted for that, because I want to have this wide angle lens on at all times, and it's just annoying because whenever I want to turn off my camera and put it away really quickly, I gotta take off the wide angle lens, I gotta put it in its little compartment in the case, and then I gotta fix the lens here and like put it in and put it in the case. Like, you get what I mean. It's just like a longer process rather than if I could just turn the camera off and the wide angle lens could just fit really nicely. So that's definitely annoying to me because I use the wide angle lens basically every time I film on this camera. But other than that, it never really falls off unless I'm like maybe pulling it out of my bag and it like snags on something and then it'll fall off, but that's just the nature of it being magnetic. Next thing, I want to talk about the protective case. It is a pretty nice case. The only thing is I wish there was some kind of case for the camera without like having to put it in here. Obviously, if you put the camera in here, you can't use the camera. So I wish there was a standalone protective case that could just go all around the camera, because this camera is really fragile. I'm typically really, really good at taking care of my things, and I don't like bang things around a lot. So that's something about this camera. You can't just like bang it around. You can't, you know, just be dilly-dallying with it. Dilly-dallying. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but you just gotta be a little more careful with this camera because it is pretty fragile. I did get a warranty on it, so in case it ever does break accidentally or if I ever drop it, I have that to possibly get a backup in the future. I maybe dropped it once or twice, not like fully dropped it, but just kind of like fell over like that, and my heart honestly dropped. I was like, is she good? I'm in the pet section right now, and she's been good every time, but I'm just saying, keep in mind that this camera is pretty fragile and it's pretty expensive. So I do wish they made like some kind of protective cover for it. I do understand like the way the camera is shaped. I can't even imagine what kind of cover they would have for it. So I totally understand why there isn't one released, but it kind of would have been good to keep that in mind when they were building the camera. Anyways, beggars can't be choosers. Also, I will say when the camera shuts down and closes, it's really nice how the lens is protected and it's like on the inside right here. I don't know if you can tell, like if it were out like that, it just looked like that, but it just turns in, so it's more protective. But a little complaint that I have, or a little constructive criticism that I have, I do really wish that the lens could be locked in place when the camera is turned off, because honestly sometimes when it's in my bag or just randomly, it'll kind of like slide out like that and the lens will just be exposed. I feel like it should just be locked in place like that so it can never be turned. I would hate for the lens to be accidentally like exposed in my bag and like have keys scratch on it or something scratch on it. Like that would suck. So I just wish that this lens could genuinely just like actually lock in place. It is really nice that they kept in mind that the lens should be like facing inwards to protect it, but it's just like not fully locked in place. Okay, let's talk battery life. Battery life on this thing is great. I've never had issues. I've never had issues where it has died on me, and I've never really had issues where it's overheated or anything and it's turned off. I do sometimes take this camera to film my Pilates classes, and my Pilates class is actually like a heated Pilates class, so it gets up to maybe like 95 degrees in there, and I film up to like 10-20 minutes on here and it's completely fine. It doesn't like even overheat in there. So I will commend DJI for making a really durable camera that can sustain heat, especially if you're like going on vacation to like a hot place or something. What's really nice is in the creator pack with the accessories, it does come with these little extenders, and these are actually like portable chargers. So if you ever were on the go and like couldn't charge up somewhere, you can literally attach it like this and it's gonna charge your camera for you. And these little extensions are also used to attach tripods onto the camera, but I personally do not use the tripod that it came with, because obviously with these extensions, the camera just gets so much bigger and bulkier and longer. It just like looks kind of awkward. So instead I opt to use this little stand. This is literally just from Amazon. I literally just put it right there and it's perfectly fine. It can stand on its own. It's still the same height and the same compactness that it once was. I honestly have this little stand thing on the camera at all times. I'll link this down below if you guys are interested. If you just have the camera like this is honestly really prone to falling over. Like I'm scared to just have it right there. So this stand really helps. As for the other accessories, it does come with this mic, and honestly having this mic was one of the main reasons I bought the creator pack. I thought it was so cool how once you use this mic, it just directly syncs up with the camera audio. That is honestly such a nice feature, but I have found myself not using this mic as much as I thought I would. I usually use like my iPhone mic and just like sync the audio with the video, just because I always have my phone on me and like I kind of forget sometimes to bring this mic with me, or I just like forget that I have it if I did bring it with me. But it honestly is a really good mic. I can do a little test for you guys right now. So this is the audio from my Canon G7X. It's the audio that you've been hearing this entire video. I'm gonna turn on the mic now. Okay, and this is the audio and the video from the DJI OSMO Pocket 3 using the microphone. I'm currently just holding it right now, but I also wanna demonstrate what it sounds like if I just like were to put it on the collar of my shirt. And then this is what the audio sounds like with the microphone just hooked up to my shirt. And this is me with the audio just holding it again. And then I'm gonna turn this microphone off so you guys can hear the raw audio from the camera itself. And then here's what the audio looks like on the DJI OSMO Pocket 3, just the raw audio, no microphone or anything. Okay, so that was everything I wanted to go over in regard to the accessories that came with the creator pack. If there are any more that I missed, it means I probably don't use them at all. Okay, now I'm gonna go into more of the features and software and hardware, I guess, of the camera itself. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that it does shoot in 4K, but I honestly never use that feature of it, at least for now, because I usually film my vlogs on both my G7X and this camera, and the G7X only shoots in 1080p, or is that 1K or 2K? I don't even know. But because my G7X shoots in a lower resolution than the 4K on the Osmo Pocket 3, when I upload it to YouTube, it can the highest like resolution it could be is like 1080p, which is the highest resolution of the G7X. And also, if you shoot in 4K on the camera, it takes up a lot more storage, not only on the SD card, but when I upload it to my laptop in like iMovie. So I typically avoid using the 4K feature, even though it is really nice. I just personally like don't need it, and I think the 1080p HD quality is good enough for my vlogs. Next thing that I do want to rave about this camera, I love the little shortcuts that you can do with it. For example, I can press this little button 3 times and it'll turn the camera right around for me. So if I'm ever vlogging in public and I have the camera facing me and I quickly want to show what's in front of me, all I do is click the button 3 times and it turns it around super quick. And it also kind of gives a cool transition because it's like rotating on the gimbal really cool. So let me shoot a quick clip for you guys so you can kind of see what it looks like. So here I am vlogging on the Osmo Pocket 3, and then if I click the button 3 times, it'll turn around the camera. So it's as easy as that. 2 other shortcuts that I use very frequently when I'm using the camera is if my camera is maybe adjusted up. So like, let's say I point it upwards. So right now the camera is fixed in this upwards position, but if I press the button 2 times, it'll bring the camera back to center. And I cannot tell you how many times I use that little shortcut. It is super, super helpful and convenient to do that, because sometimes when I'm like vlogging and moving the camera around, the lens will kind of just like get stuck on like an upward position or a downward position. So all you have to do is click it twice and it'll be back and centered. And then the last little shortcut that I use sometimes is whenever I'm filming a vlog clip, and let's say I'm filming, it's currently filming right now, I don't know if you can tell, but it's filming, and let's say I hate how this clip looks. I hate it. I don't even want it in my SD card anymore. I want to delete it. All you have to do is hold the, I think it's the record button down, and it'll delete it for you. Yeah, so you can kind of see it's like deleting it. And then it'll delete it from your SD card, from your memory, so you don't even have to have that clip in there anymore. That one's really convenient, so that you don't have to like fill your SD card with a bunch of clips that you're not even gonna use. Okay, so now I want to go into just some more general comments I have about the camera itself. I will say this camera is great for traveling or just vlogging in public in general because it is so small, so compact, so discreet. Instead of having like a huge vlog camera or even like the G7X, it's still a pretty significant camera to just like be holding up in public and vlogging. It definitely draws attention to yourself sometimes. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like drawing attention to themselves, especially while you're like traveling, you don't want to be like a targeted tourist or anything, having this more small, compact, discreet camera, it definitely helps with that. It also definitely helps if you're vlog shy because it's not as obvious that you're vlogging sometimes. And honestly, I do find myself grabbing this camera when I'm more on the go and out and about and vlogging rather than grabbing my G7X nowadays. My G7X I usually use just at home because I have like a wide angle lens on it, so it makes it a little bit bigger and heavier and just bulkier. And another thing about this camera is it's definitely a conversation starter. Whenever I'm in public vlogging the camera, or just even with my friends and I'm vlogging, they're like, oh my gosh, like, can I see that? Is that a camera? Is that a Ring doorbell? Like, what is that? So I love showing them all the features of it, and literally everyone I've shown has thought it has been so cool and has just wanted to play around with it. It's honestly so fun to play around because like the gimbal like follows you everywhere. You have the like face tracking feature where it can follow you. There's just so many cool little features, and I feel like I definitely don't take advantage of all the features just because I feel like my vlogging style is pretty simple, nothing crazy going on, but those features are available if you know, you want to spice up your videos. Another thing regarding the software of the camera, when the camera hasn't been opened in a really long time or started up in a really long time, like a couple hours or a day or two, it does take like 1 to 3 seconds for the camera to like fully turn on. Honestly, isn't that annoying for me because I'm a pretty patient person. I can wait 1 to 3 seconds for my camera to turn on. But once you have turned your camera on once, like recently, it should turn on like pretty immediately. Like that was pretty immediate right there. I've heard in some reviews that some people think it's a con, but hear me out, you guys. The technology in this camera is insane. I honestly can't believe like a camera like this has been engineered and developed. Like, take a second to appreciate that it can even take a mere 3 seconds for it to power on. I know people nowadays are like, so go, 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 I want it now, 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 because technology is so advanced, like we get things like instantly. But remember, there was a time where like things didn't come like that. Because I'm an engineer myself and I know how hard it is to develop and create technology like this, I feel like I just have a greater appreciation for it, and I feel like other people should too, because a lot of hard work went into making this camera. So I honestly feel like that's not a big deal at all. I have seen some people complain about it, and to me, I'm kind of just like, shut up, it's not a big deal. Anyways, just want to go into some closing thoughts about this camera now. I honestly really do love it, and I use it in all of my vlogs now, and it's honestly a really powerful camera for how small it is. Like, even though I did have some constructive criticism and all of those opinions were mine and my own, I greatly appreciate this camera, and I greatly appreciate the fact that I'm able to own it and vlog using it. Also, DJI, if you ever want to sponsor me, I love this product. Even though I have some constructive criticism on it, I genuinely love it, and I use it in every single one of my vlogs, so hit me up. Yeah, I hope this honest review helped you guys in deciding if this camera might be right for you if you're starting to vlog, or if you're looking for a new vlog camera. If you have any questions at all, please let me know down below. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And if this video helped you out in any way, it would mean so much to me if you like commented down below and let me know that, because literally when I see comments like that, it makes my entire life, you guys. Even if this just helped one person decide if this camera was right for them, I accomplished my goal. Anyways, I want to say thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you stayed till the very end, again, like, I hope you know that I appreciate it so much. And if you want to keep seeing this vlog camera in action, subscribe to my channel, because I do use it in like every single one of my vlogs. I guess I will stop yapping now and I'll let you guys go and get on with your day. But thank you again so much for watching the vlog, and I will see you in the next one.